So this next story is not just about self-defense. It's about how close Chicago came to making this man either a criminal or worse, a victim who never made it home. Watch this.
Police say a man shot at two men who tried to rob him at gunpoint. It happened just after 2:30 in Belmont Cragen on Montana and Laramie. Officers say the 39-year-old was getting out of his car when the two men walked up with a gun and demanded his belongings. The victim, a licensed concealed carry holder, then fired, shooting one of the men in the legs. Officers got to the scene and arrested both men. Police are investigating, and so far there are no charges.
That last line matters more than people realize. Licensed concealed carry holder. A lot of people assume that was always legal in Chicago. It wasn't. People in Chicago did not gain the right to carry a concealed firearm until like 2014. Before that, this same man could have been arrested just for having the gun on him, not for firing it, not for carrying it. But here's the part people don't like to talk about. If this happens before 2014 and he's a law-abiding citizen following the law, he probably doesn't have the gun on him at all, which means this exact same confrontation happens. Two men, one gun, demands for his belongings, except this time he has no way to defend himself. And now he's completely at the mercy of criminals who already proved they're willing to threaten his life. So yes, the law could have turned him into a criminal, but even worse, it could have turned him into a statistic. Same threat, same criminals. Different outcome because the law finally changed. And that fight didn't start in 2014. That fight starts with a man named Otis McDonald, and his story sounds a lot closer to this one than people realize. This is from an ABC 7 report 15 years ago on McDonald v. City of Chicago. Here's what they said.
A grandfather is taking his constitutional issues to the U.S. Supreme Court in what is expected to be a landmark case. 76-year-old Otis McDonald is suing the city of Chicago over its handgun ban. Good evening. McDonald says he wants the right to protect himself from gang members who threaten the Morgan Park neighborhood where he lives.
That line should sound familiar. Protect himself from criminals in his own neighborhood. Later in the same report, McDonald explains why he changed his mind about the gun ban.
For the better part of 4 decades, Otis McDonald has lived in Morgan Park. He and his wife raised their family here. 10 years after they first moved in, Chicago enacted its handgun ban, an idea McDonald at the time applauded. But in the years that have followed, McDonald says his neighborhood has changed, more crime. He's been broken into 3 times, and he's long since concluded that the gun ban is a bust.
And then McDonald says this.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work simply because the senior citizens and law-abiding citizens like myself is being victimized by saying that you can't have a handgun in your own home. Why? Tell me what I can't have in my own home. I'm not out there robbing nobody.
That's the core of this entire conversation. Law-abiding people being disarmed while criminals ignore the law entirely. McDonald didn't want a gun to hurt anyone. He wanted a gun so he wouldn't be hurt. And his case forced Chicago to recognize that the Second Amendment applies to the people who live there. But even after that win, Illinois still refused to allow carry, which is why it took until 2014 for people in Chicago to legally carry firearms in public. That's why this defensive gun use even has a chance to end the way that it did. And this is where preparation matters, because surviving the moment is only one part of the reality. And that's why USCCA sponsors this channel, because they focus on the full picture: training, education, situational awareness, learning how to avoid danger before it finds you. And if you are ever forced to defend yourself, they provide legal and financial protection when it matters most, especially in places where prosecutors are openly hostile to the Second Amendment. The worst time to figure this stuff out is after your life has already been turned upside down. And that idea connects perfectly with the I'm the Militia design that I have at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. That design exists to remind you of a simple truth. You are your own first responder. No one is coming faster than you. No one is more responsible for your safety than you. It's not about bravado, it's about mindset. I'm gonna put a link in the description section so you can learn more about a USCCA membership and also to check out the I'm the Militia line of merchandise at shop.mrcolionnoir.com, because rights only matter if you're prepared to exercise them responsibly. One thing's for certain and 2 things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you, and we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.